But it's very important to realize that Luther and Zwingli are operating in very, very different political contexts. Luther is operating in a kind of medieval, feudal type noble context where really the prince of the territory, the senior nobleman, essentially calls the shots. Now, of course, no nobleman has absolute power. There's always negotiation that's going on with various stakeholders. But essentially, the prince calls the shots and sets the agenda. And in practice, for Luther, this meant that he was very much dependent upon the prince's take on things, and he exerted very, very little what we might now call direct political power. Clearly, he had huge influence. He was an iconic figure, we would say today. He exerted tremendous influence on the popular imagination, but he didn't have much formal political power. Zwingli, on the other hand, is very significant, not only church-wise, but also politically. His territory is the city of Zurich. Zurich is an independent city. So it's a city that's not part of the Holy Roman Empire. It's not directly beholden to the policies of the emperor, though clearly the emperor has an interest in what's going on in Zurich because he doesn't want it becoming a center that might lead to the destabilization of imperial territories. And it's also governed by town council. Now, again, we shouldn't think of a town council as being as democratic as say we have today. Mm-hmm. Incidentally, I think Switzerland only gave women the vote in the 1970s. So we definitely don't want to think about modern democracy in 16th century Switzerland. Yeah. But the town council was elected and enjoyed direct power. And Zwingli was initially in Zurich. He's the minister of the great Minster in Zurich. And then in the early 1520s, he moves to being effectively chaplain at large for the town council. So you have a situation in Zurich where the civil authorities and the religious authorities, we might say, are hopelessly confused, looking at it from a kind of American First Amendment kind of framework. But perhaps a better way of putting it is they work hand in glove. And Zwingli has tremendous direct political power in a way that Luther does not enjoy. And that also tracks, I think, into a deeper and perhaps less easy to define cultural difference between the two men. And that is, Zwingli is very much a man of the emerging modern age. He's a man of the city. He's a man where trade, social mobility, these kind of things are becoming significant factors in the way people think about themselves. Luther, I think you sat in on my Reformation classes, mm-hmm. Camden. I would say Luther was in many ways the last man of the Middle Ages. His calling is that of a monk. He comes to Reformation in middle age. He really sees the world in the rather more fixed and hierarchical way than Zwingli would. So there are very significant political and cultural differences between the two men, primarily grounded in their different geographical contexts.